What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I've been watching the Wimbledon since the beginning, basically, this year, and my opinion hasn't really changed. So the odds are about the same, to believe it or not, as they are when it opened, because I think Vegas basically knew and has an idea. But I really do think that this is going to be one of the more obviously scripted Wimbledons. And if you wanted to play safe, I just don't see it not being Djokovic, Alcaraz. I'm really getting Djokovic vibes from Alcaraz. If you guys remember, when Federer and Nadal were still like the best guys, going, Djokovic came up out of nowhere, and he just, nobody could beat him. And people just kept fading him, taking Federer, taking Nadal. And Djokovic never looked back. He just pounded them and took the torch. And I really believe that's what's going to happen with Alcaraz. I think he's going to finally get, that win against Djokovic. If you remember, he was playing him in the Australian Open semis, and he basically got fatigued, and he lost because of that. And they keep bringing that up. I think he's definitely going to get his rematch and beat him. Now, that's for the finals, and I think Alcaraz is going to win the whole thing, and I don't think it would hurt to put a decent bid on him, because then if Djokovic makes it, you probably still have a nice hedge. I got plus 350 for Alcaraz. He's still getting that, so I think it's a very good take. Now, like I said, I think it'll be Alcaraz, Djokovic, and I think Djokovic will pass the torch. But tomorrow there's a couple nice plays too. I've been reading these players pretty well, and I think in this case they're really trying to push the underdog American. Now, we do have two underdog stories, but the other one, Benedetto, he's playing Berrettino. He's playing Alcaraz. I don't think he's going to win. So that would leave Eubanks as really the only underdog left. He's an American, so obviously there's some appeal there. And I just think real or fake, it makes sense for him to win. It's one of those where if you kind of watch the pace, you can see how players are playing. And I really think Eubanks is going to have the upper hand. So he's a pretty sizable dog. Last I checked, he was like plus 300 or something. My book's off a lot, but I imagine he's still a pretty sizable dog. So I like Eubanks tomorrow. And speaking of Alcaraz, while I do like him to win, I think a smart play would be Berrettini plus 2.5 sets. It's not exactly even odds. It's close. It's pretty close. Vegas has Alcaraz at minus 200, and I just feel like the public's going to be slamming him to win in straight sets. So I have a feeling he's going to have a hiccup and maybe win in 4 sets. Or he might win the 3 sets, but like 7-6, 7-5, and he won't cover the game spread. So I personally like Berrettini to cover the game spread, and to cover, I would probably split it, put like half, whatever you're going to put on plus 2.5, maybe put half on plus 1.5 sets. That way, just to be safe, in case it is exactly a 4-set victory. But I just think Vegas must know something. This guy's unranked. He's not unranked. I mean, he's got a ranking, but he's not in the top 32. And Alcaraz is only minus 200. I don't think that makes any sense. And you could say, well, he's not going to win. I don't think they're going to boot Alcaraz out. I don't. I think he's going to the finals. But again, I think with numbers like that, people are going to just opt for the 50-50, the minus, a couple games. And I think Berrettini is going to make it way closer than people think. So if you're, looking for good plus odds, obviously, Alcaraz wins 3-2 is going to be the best pick, for, the best value. But even just taking Berrettini plus the 1.5 or the plus the 2.5, I think is going to be fine. I think it'll be 3-2. It might be 3-1, but I have a feeling. I just have a feeling they're going to make this a very close, back and forth match that Alcaraz barely wins. And that's really it for the tomorrow. I don't know enough about Rune and Dimitrov. I would probably lean Dimitrov because the Russians were banned last year and the Belarus players, so maybe they give him a little bit of a run. Same thing with Medvedev. I could see both of them winning if I had to choose. I'd probably go with Grigor Dimitrov over Holger, and I'd go with Eubanks over Stefanos. And I think even, obviously, even splitting those two, we're going to profit because both of them are, I think, like plus 150 or better. I think Eubanks, like I said, is like plus 300. And I would lean towards Daniil Medvedev, however the hell you say his name, Medvedev, because, again, I think with Russians being back in it, they're going to give one Russian a little bit of a run. But that being said, I do like Alcaraz. Oh, and on the women's side, I like Kvitova tomorrow. She's a slight favorite against Jobert, and I don't think anybody's going to be taking Kvitova over Jobert. From everything I'm seeing on Twitter, from everything I'm seeing, basically, from one article to another, nobody has Kvitova winning this. Vegas does, though. They got her at like minus 150. So I found that interesting. So I like Kvitova to win. Actually, I like Kvitova to win the whole thing, mostly because of value. She's getting like 15-1. It was 18-1. She moved up a little bit. And you might wonder why Vegas has Jobert at like 8-1 to win this whole thing, but they have her losing to Kvitova. I think it probably comes down to the draw. And by draw, I mean who they drew against. I'm guessing Kvitova's matchup going forward would be tougher because of her seeding than Jobert's. But yeah, I think Jobert's going to lose, so I think that Kvitova is a good take. And that's really all I know on the women's side. They really just seem to, again, make Jobert look like she's unstoppable and she's just destined to repeat. And I think Rybakina might get back there, just based off what I've seen. But Vegas having Jobert as the underdog tells me they know something, and I think Kvitova is going to take it. So nothing crazy. Like I said, I just been watching some of the tennis matchups and been doing pretty good. We had Sloane Stevens getting bumped in early. I just had a feeling. And upsetting. I forget who she beat. She upset somebody, though, and got some nice plus odds for us. And I put a few others in the Discord, not a ton. But we did pretty well with the few we played. Oh, we had Brody beating the British dude, Brody. He beating Casper Ruud in the second round because I know how Casper Ruud plays, and the dude was playing like trash. So you could just tell if some players aren't trying and if some players are. Djokovic is just so obvious this guy's going back to the finals. He's the most obvious. But I think Alcaraz is right behind him. I don't think there's anybody in their class right now. So yeah, nothing crazy, but picking the exact matchup, believe it or not, it's pretty good odds for some reason. Alcaraz, Djokovic. Or you could just do what I'm doing. I'm doing Alcaraz, and then if I need to, I will hedge with Djokovic. But tomorrow, like I said, be careful. I'm thinking something like 3-1, 3-2 Alcaraz in a close match. I am not seeing straight sets because I think Vegas would have different lines if that was the case. And again, I do like Eubanks for the upset. Good odds there. And I like Dimitrov for the upset. I'll probably stay away from Medvedev. I have nothing about him. I just know I feel like the Russian guy will probably win. I could be wrong. And same with Dimitrov, the Belarusian guy. So those are my official plays. We got, it looks like 2 upsets, and I think Dimitrov is a Vegas upset. And then we got 2 favorites in. I don't think Lehecka is going to beat Daniil, and I don't think Berrettini is going to win, but I do think he's going to make it close. And I'm going to go into the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. I did find a really interesting line for some of these guys that just doesn't make sense. It's like some players like Alonso, and then others, Vlad. Their lines just aren't matching up at all, and I think that it's going to be another one where they're basically just going to rob the public. I can say that the guy that definitely shouldn't win is one of the favorites to win, and It's like he's like the fourth favorite to win, and he's hit like 11 home runs this year. So I think that might be telling us something. And it's the dude for the Mariners. I might as well go into it now, huh? I'm just going to go into it now and make this video about both. Julio Rodriguez, I think. I think he's going to win the home run derby. The reason I think he's going to win it is because... All right, they don't have it here. Like I said, the guy's hit like 11 home runs all year. It's in Seattle. I just feel like they're going to do it. You know, they're going to give him... If I'm remembering correctly, I thought they did something with Mark Cannon for his for the All-Star game. I don't know if he won something, but I thought he did, and that was in Utah. So here I really like... I'm not sure about the game itself. I'll go into that if I see anything crazy. I'm slightly leaning NL, but very slightly. But yeah, I like Julio Rodriguez to win. He's like, again, 4.5 to 1. And they have him basically tied with Pete Alonso in the first round. So that right off the bat should you know, for some people, give it away. Alonso's got twice the home runs. He's obviously a much better home run hitter. And I just saw an article basically saying, like, oh, here's why Julio Rodriguez has a shot. So I found it all very interesting. I figured I would just cover it now because it'd be kind of dumb to make a video just to go into the All-Star home run derby. And the All-Star game is like so rigged. I feel like playing you might as well flip a coin. But at 4.5 to 1, and this guy hasn't hit a home run in like 2 weeks. I should know because I've been doing this prop where I've been chasing home runs, and it's worked out pretty good. You get guys like Soler, you get guys like Vlad, you get guys like Schwarber. You're not going to go too long before you get one. You know, some of them go on some droughts. Soler was just on a drought, and Rodriguez is on a crazy drought. Like, he hasn't hit one in weeks, I think. So, and even if he did get one that I might have overlooked, I don't think he did. But he's like 11, 12, something like that home runs. He hasn't hit that many at all. So, yeah, I like Julio Rodriguez to win the home run derby. And I figured I would just add that because, again, I feel like it's kind of dumb to make a video for 2 minutes to tell you who's going to win the home run derby. But yeah, if anyone else found that odd, his line versus the others, I did. Outside of being at home, I guess, there's no reason he should be a favorite over some of these other players. So I think that could be a very good payout for a guy. Again, his odds to win the thing are about the same as his... Actually, they're a little better than his usual prop to hit at one in a single game. He's usually around plus 500 to hit one in a game, whereas these other guys are plus 250, plus 300. So in a rigged scripted league where they're literally throwing them where you can hit home runs, I think it's just going to be a matter of how they do it. You know, he's probably going to beat somebody, I don't know, I would imagine somebody from the opposing division, and probably somebody that's gigantic, someone that's way bigger than him, I would imagine. Maybe Alonso. Well, he plays Alonso in the first round, so that can't happen. But maybe it is Vlad or something. But I just think it's going to be Rodriguez versus somebody that's a way better home run hitter. But Rodriguez is going to wind up coming through. So yeah, again, nothing crazy. I am preparing a really cool football video. I know you guys will like it. It's going to take me a little bit, honestly. It's just a lot of very specific details about over-unders on wins and things of that nature. And a couple interesting things I've seen with the Raiders. I've seen with the Niners. A couple teams that I'm seeing some commonalities with. Jags are one. So I'm going to go into all that. But I figured I'd get this out. There's no baseball tomorrow, but obviously, we'll have the Derby. We'll have the All-Star game. And again, I'm probably not going to play the All-Star game. Slightly leaning NL. But I do like the Julio Rodriguez play. And for now, I'm liking Wimbledon. I'm liking Kvitova. I'm liking Eubanks tomorrow. I do like Alcaraz. I wouldn't take him minus the games. I really do think that Berrettini's going to cover the games and possibly cover 1.5 on the spread. I think he'll definitely cover 2.5. So if you're into tennis and you thought that was weird with Alcaraz only being minus 200, I did too. But maybe there's something that I don't know. But yeah, I think they're just really setting this up to be Alcaraz versus Djokovic. And I think it's officially going to be a torch passing. The way Djokovic is looking, not going to be easy. but I do think it's going to be a torch passing. You've seen these guys play. They play like switches. I was watching Andy Murray look perfectly fine. Then they called curfew the next day. He couldn't hit the ball at all. So I think we're going to see that with Alcaraz and Djokovic when they play each other. And I think we're going to see with Alcaraz tomorrow, a little bit of selling, so it could be a closer game with Berrettini. Because I think typically he would beat him in straight sets. But because the Vegas lines were so weird, I don't think he's going to beat him in straight sets. But if you just watch him and Djokovic, I think they're definitely... The announcers give stuff away too. So I think the announcers have basically given away it's going to be Djokovic and most likely Alcaraz, just based off the way that they're pushing everybody. So take care, everybody. Like I said, I'll be back into getting videos out. I've been busy on top of the fact that there's not much to cover. So that's the only reason I've been, exclusively posting on my Buy Me a Coffee. And thank you for everybody that's signed up, that's been signing up and still is. We've been doing good, for several weeks. I'd say we've been really. Today we missed a leg through at the Tigers. I thought the line was weird, but I guess the Jays did hold it. They didn't cover, but they got the win. But we've been hitting a lot of leg threes, and I think just seeing a lot of these stories, with the Reds, I think we can see what's going on with them. The Phillies, you can see they're making a little bit of a run. So a lot of teams have been doing good for us. So thank you for everyone that's, signed up for that. I figured that way you can get every play for the system when I'm not doing videos. And again, thank you for everyone that's always just supporting the channel. We're going to kill it this football season. I know people want videos. I just don't want to make a football video just to make it. So the one I'm working on is going into everything that we can actually make some future bets off of, because it's just pointless to go into week 1 right now, I feel like. I would like to, but it just makes no sense. So take care, everybody, and thank you again, and happy earnings.